Recording is started. All right. So you'll have to bear with me because I'm working off of different modalities out here. So Dave, do you want to do roll call, please?
Yeah, I just saw one person join. Who was that? Because I can't see on the screen. So who was that?
Um,
No, it doesn't matter. We'll go down the roll call. All right. Myself, Dave Burton, Lori Dorak, Jeff Flynn,
Here.
Dave Giroux.
Here.
Let's see. Nancy, Craig, and Chris are absent. Julia Scavi. Julia, I know Julia was on.
Yep, she's there. She's
And Brian Smith.
Yeah.
And then our treasurer and our tax collector, Lisa Hober and Lynn Christie, are also in attendance.
okay. From public, Dave, is Lisa Sobostanovich, Patty Fazio, and that's right now.
Got it.
Thank you. Okay, let me get rid of that. Okay, so the meeting guidelines will be, if you have a public comment, please keep your comments to 2 minutes. Address them to the chair, and note that the board will not engage in conversation, but will consider everything that you have to say and address as necessary. Is there any public comment? Yeah, and if you're muted, please unmute yourself. Okay, thank you. So member correspondence, I just want to say I did receive numerous, and I'm just not going to read them all. I would love to, it's just too many. I received numerous emails regarding the dam updates, and people are very, very pleased with the information and the thoroughness of what they're receiving. So that made me feel really good. I did get one person that mentioned asking about state bonding, and that they hoped that we were looking at that. I don't know if that's going to be necessary. We'll see where that goes. But really, that was the gist of member correspondence. I did get one more today regarding the waste management numbers that went out in the email blast today. And the waste management, the question was it $6 per person? And I just, to clarify, it's $6 per day times 30 days is $181 per month. So if anybody's watching this board meeting, it's an additional $181 a month for the next 7 months. So that was really it for member correspondence. Officers' reports. Julia, you have an update, and then I just have a couple things that I'd like to say.
Thank you, Lori. The campaign we've had, the educational campaign on the dam, to date, we have 17 new voters registered, and we had many. I don't have a count, but people checking on their status, and most of the people who checked were already registered to vote. But we have 17 new voters as of today.
So that's good. People are paying attention, and they want their voices heard. That's fabulous. Thank you, Julia. So I just want to I want to say that we are. I think we're a good board here. I think we work well together. I think we've come a long way from when we first all got together. And Robert's rules are always a learning process. So I just want to say we are all volunteers, and I think running strictly is efficient and effective. However, if we become too strict, we will lose our volunteers and not keep our board members. So we just have to be careful. We want to support our Robert's rules, our charter, our bylaws, and of course the state statutes. But we can't get too rigid. So let's just keep that in mind. If there's something not on the agenda and you find it necessary to talk about under new business, you can request a motion to put it on the agenda, and it must be 2/3 of the board that agree. I wish everybody was here to hear that, but so that was something that Dave and I were talking about. Dave comes from a very structured Robert's Rules structure in the police department, so he's very familiar with Robert's Rules under his structure. So we just want to make sure, because we did say last time, if it's not on the agenda, it's out. But I just wanted to clarify that. And that's really all I have. Next month's meeting will be very, very important. We will talk a lot about the dam, who's being special assessed, or the referendum, about the referendum and all of that. So if everybody can please try to make it a big effort to be at the next meeting, that would be great. And that's all I have to say. Dave, do you have anything you'd like to say?
No, I think under Robert's rules, though, you do have to be aware that anything can be challenged if we do go off script. So I would suggest we don't do that a lot, just to keep us out of trouble. Lori and I had a conversation about the commentary. The general rule is that every board member, commission, council, etc., gets two comments. The president can waive that for the case of general discussion, but if it becomes repetitive, then it can be challenged, and then it's back to the two comments again, as far as what the guidelines are. So you're right. I mean, you just have to watch where we are.
Right. And the other part of that is, we want to make sure everybody gets their chance to talk. So if, someone's continuously raising their hand and somebody else hasn't had a chance to talk, I'll try to call on them first and try to pay attention. Especially virtually, it's a little bit harder, but it allows us to still meet. So thank you, everybody, for working with us, being effective and efficient. Okay. Anything else from you, Dave? I think. Okay, good. Thank you. Okay, let me go back to my. Okay, so financial reports. We have Lynn. Lynn, would you be so good to provide us with your tax collector report?
Sure. So for the tax year that is now will expire in 2026, we have a total of about $1,200 still left outstanding. We've got one account that was paid. It's in the process of being paid through our attorneys, through collections. We have another where they're working through an sort of an installment pay, and they've made good progress on that. And then we've got a third account, and that is looking to go to foreclosure. We're coordinating that with the town of East Haddam, because this property owner also owes East Haddam their taxes. And so we'll coordinate with East Haddam as this goes through, because at least then they're only hit with, legal bills once, not us, plus East Haddam. But fingers crossed, here's hoping.
Thank you, Lynn. Does anybody have questions for Lynn? Thank you. All right, Lisa Hober, treasurer. Hi, Tabitha. You're muted. Okay.
All right. You can hear me, and I'm hearing you on my phone, right? Okay, so normally I'd say the report has been posted on the drive, and I can't say that this month because I have a couple of glitches. It's not a glitch where the money is weird. It's not weird at all. But I'm trying to run two engines at the same time. I have been running QuickBooks, again, Quicken, for the last whole fiscal year. And I found one discrepancy that I need to figure out how to represent on QuickBooks properly. So I don't want to post reports until I have that reconciled. I have reached out to Lee Griffin, and we had an appointment. We had plans to meet to talk about that. I think it's going to be something easy. I just, need to make sure that the way I'm thinking about it, I need a second set of eyes to make sure that I'm thinking about it correctly. And Lee offered to help out with that, as well as Jason. However, the night we were going to do it was a storm here in Connecticut, so I went on DEFCON 5, so I could not participate in that. But that's all I have. I can say that Lori, I'm not sure. Have you had a meeting with the merchandise people?
No, not yet.
Okay, so any additional information that I would have added tonight is not relevant. So that's not. So other than that, does anybody have any questions for me?
I don't at this point, Lisa. I already asked you my question via email,
Did
but
you get my email?
I did. Thank you.
All right, then I'm good.
And I will address that when we get to it, what I'm talking about with Lisa. Not trying to be covert. Thank you, Lisa. Okay. So our next item for discussion, and we are going to kind of move quick through this meeting, and this is probably going to be the largest topic right here, because I'm on vacation. No, it's not really why, but next month is going to be lengthy. So, like I said, just keep that in mind. So this is the update on the cost for the tag stickers and QR app. Dave, I'm going to admit a guest, and oh, it's Craig. Craig, are you there? I admitted him. Craig, are you there? Maybe he's muted. There he is. I see him. Okay.
Thank you, sorry.
That's okay. Life happens.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us. Okay, so I had a lengthy meeting today with, and I do wish Nancy was here for this because this was something she was very interested in, but she can watch the video later. I had a lengthy meeting with the company called The Parking Boss this morning, earlier today. There's a lot of information. It's rather robust. We don't need to use all of the features right now, but I think, after reviewing all of the the old documents from 1960s and 1970s, and we've been dealing with security issues and parking issues since then, and nobody's come up with a fix. This is a quite interesting package. So I'm going to try to roll it out a little bit for you. The man's name was Nathan that I met with today. And he is willing to come to a board meeting, but if you have any questions after we've discussed this, I can, if it's a simple one, I can email him, but he is willing to come to a board meeting. So how they work is we get the stickers for the cars, QR codes. Each code is unique to one vehicle, one address. It could also, we can put in their email address. So we have the data from Constant Contact and the data from the parking tags now on the addresses and who the owners are. And so the hardest part will be setting it up. People can actually use the QR code and register them themselves. Now we know that a lot of people don't have internet here, don't have technical capabilities. That's okay. My thought is we can have a couple of special meetings and just have people come and get their passes registered. It also asks for their license plate, so maybe we have a new form. The setup process is a little cumbersome. in that we need to get everybody enrolled. And I think from my perspective, I think what we would do is just overlap the orange tags while we're in process of getting everybody set up. But these QR codes, they could stay on somebody's car for 8 years, 10 years, as long as, you know, they still have the same vehicle. So it's not like we have to go out and buy them again and reinvent the wheel ever. We just have to maintain the database. The database has three different user modes. One is full access. So that's the person that would set up. They could see the violations. They could see who it is, their phone number, their all of that, and their license plate. The second is enforcement only. So if we hire a security company, they can look up on the QR code or the license plate, and it will show them if they've been in violation, if their tag is revoked, which means they moved and we, you know, shut their tag off or what have you. For whatever reason, it was revoked. And they provide these notices. So it's a 3-step process, and it's really whatever we want. But the first one is a warning. And he said, you know, you might want to stick it under their windshield. The second one, you might want to peel back the label a little and just stick it to their window just a little so they can pull it off. But it tells them that it's their second warning, and that the third warning, they will be subjected to towing. That one actually gets stuck on their, they're about this big, gets stuck on their window. So they get 3 warnings, or, you know, we set all the rules, but this is basically how it's set up. So yes, it would be a database. There's no limit on the amount of users that can access the website. The administrator of the software just gives people permissions. So the security people that perhaps we hire, you know, to begin with, Dave, for, I think we were going to try to do weekends at first to try to deter. They will have access, and maybe we give them, you know, enforcement only access. So once they issue a warning, if they issue a warning, they look it up with their phone, they issue a warning, they'll see if it's the first, second, or third offense. And then they put the appropriate tag on there. If it's the third, well, then they get towed. So, and then for guests, we could also, so they come in 6 different colors. So maybe we offer, you know, those stickers, and we put them on guest hang tags. And those are also registered to the homeowner. So we would know who the guest is and if those guest tags have been revoked. It's a really interesting process. Let me just see if there's anything else I forgot. The company started about 15 years ago by a man that was in a HOA, and they had parking situation, and they never had one after this. So they also work, Dave, with flock cameras, and that's something down the road if we ever want to use it, but they're solar, and they will scan license plates as cars come in. I don't think we need that right now, but it is very robust where it can interact with that. Let's see. So the elephant in the room, right, is the cost. So the annual cost, if we paid annually, is $4,752. I asked him about a lengthy contract, and he said he liked it. He was going to present to his upper echelon a 5-year contract for us, if this is something we decide to pursue, at that same price for 5 years. Not shabby. So, you know, right now, every 4 years, we're spending, I don't know, $1,700 on hang tags that we then have to distribute. We have no control over them. We have no recourse, clearly. And most of the time, people neglect to have them. So, not most of the time, a lot of the time, people neglect to have their hang tags, or they lose them, or what have you. Um, I'm a proponent for it. We did budget for having new hang tags and new and security. So the money is in the upcoming fiscal budget. Does anybody have any questions that maybe I didn't cover? I know it's a lot. Dave, go ahead.
So-
G.
So have we taken a look at what the costs are related to security to manage this?
So I think, when we talked about this originally, we said we would start out like, was it May, Dave, or June?
Yeah, we're
Like
gonna start in June.
when the kids get out of school, because that's when it really, so for the first like 30 to 60 days, we kind of heavily do like Saturday and Sunday just to get the word out, and have security come and then back off to, a few hours midday, maybe August. And then hopefully once that word is out, we can really, really back off on security, Dave. So I think it would be, yes, we need a number to have a security company come, and start the word out there that, we're really cracking down on people parking there. I mean, let's face it, we have signs up that says we're going to tow you. I've been here, I'm in my 6th year. I've never seen anybody towed or heard anybody towed, but we've had many that could have or should have been. And like I said, I go back to the 1960s and I read because it's interesting. I find it interesting. I read the old newsletters and minutes and notes, and this has been a problem since then. So go ahead, Craig.
Why don't we just tow the first offender and the second offender and the third offender and let them understand that there's new rules? Like, why do we have to spend $5,000 to have QR codes?
Well, it still leaves us with a problem that Carolyn and I discussed. One, when people move and they don't turn in their tags, guess what? They still have full use of our amenities. So they might have, sold their cottage. We don't know. People just see an orange tag hanging and, oh, okay, well, they can be here. So life is grand. And the same thing happens with people who lose them. I happen to have lost mine when I first came. And I said to Carolyn, after I paid $20 and got 4 more. I said, Carolyn, how do you know that I don't still have those 4 tags? And now I have 8. And she goes, I don't. So we don't really have any control over them, Craig.
Yeah, but isn't that a lower cost solution, like a lower cost problem to fix?
Well, how do you fix that?
Well, I mean, somebody's managing Carolyn's managing the database. It's very intense.
Mm-hmm.
But
when
is it $5,000 a year intense?
But you go by First Beach parking lot and you see an orange tag. Do you question it ever?
Okay, but if we change the tags now, then all of the old tags are no longer valid. Change the
Yeah.
color,
Yeah.
and that weeds out anything that's out there in existence. Now we just
For
have to
6
manage
months.
it moving. Now we just have to manage it moving forward.
Yeah, for 6 months. But how do we manage it going forward?
Well, do you just manage a database? I'm just saying that, is it worth $5,000 a year to have QR code? I think there's a cheaper way to do it. Change the color of the tags. We start fresh. We manage a database a little bit more efficiently. I'm sure there's AI solutions. I'm sure there's other things that we can do internally that we don't have to spend $5,000 a year to have QR codes. I'm just throwing it out there for discussion.
Brian?
I was just gonna maybe help the conversation. What is the comparison cost to get new tags every 3-4 years?
So it's last time we paid around $1,700 for new tags for 4 years. And but it solved no problems. It
Right.
didn't solve any of our problems, even maintaining the database. I mean, what are you going to do? Post it down there? I don't know. I mean, nobody's come up with a valid
When I
solution.
think you said last meeting, it's very complicated what Carolyn has to do. It's like a spreadsheet kind of thing. It's not a fancy online database that
It's an
anyone can
Excel-
access.
It is. It's an Excel spreadsheet.
Anyway,
The other
See, but-
aspect to it is that
Were you done, Brian?
The people who, well, I was jumping in on the conversation.
You
anyways.
can't do
I will wait until I'm called.
that. I just want to make sure Brian was done. He gets his chance to talk. You're good?
I'm good.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead, Craig.
I just think the cars that have tags are not the problem necessarily. There are other cars that don't have tags that are the problem. So we have to kind of focus on where's the biggest problem. Is it people who have tags and are just being nice and polite and whatever? Or is it the people who are causing problems? And I think, again, it comes back to fiscal responsibility of spending $5,000 to solve a problem. If there's, yeah, it's hard to say unless you look at specific examples of when people were there that they weren't supposed to be there. And all the issues that we've talked about as a board were when people were acting a fool and doing stupid things. So again,
Okay, so this is, as I said, I've read a lot of literature. This has been going on for a long time. But just let's let Dave have his comment.
So the only
Please.
comment I had was that while I'm not opposed to the tool, I think the $5,000 number isn't the whole picture, and that it's difficult to evaluate the tool without fully understanding what the total cost is.
So if we pay it annually, we get the startup package. Hold on, let me just go over here.
Yeah, Lori, that's not really what I meant. What I really meant was, the tool is good, okay? But then
Yeah.
you have additional costs of security to administer it. And what does that look like? Is it $8,000? Is it $10,000? Is it $12,000? I don't know.
Right. We did budget quite a bit for security this year, and the membership voted for it. I mean, I have heard extensively from the membership that with the 190 apartments going up and everybody's concerned about people being here that shouldn't be here. So granted, I mean, we've also had issues where, people get 4 tags, they give 2 of them out to whoever they want. And, people take issue with that, and I don't blame them. We pay taxes to live there. So I understand what you're saying, Dave. And the membership was aware that we budgeted quite a bit of money for public safety going forward because of this. Let me give you
Again, I'm not opposed to the tool. I just think that when we get to a no-go type decision, that we need to understand what we're being asked to allocate, for funding.
Agreed. So I think that's a matter of, I think Dave's going to reach out to some security companies and get some numbers. And that would just mostly, having a security. So in addition, every board member could have this app on their phone. So, if there's, not to say that you're security, but everybody can have it on their phone. It doesn't necessarily have to be when the security person is here. And honestly, you don't even have to interface with the person. You put one of those stickers on or whatever. And, if it's their 3rd violation, we get somebody that's willing to tow, which I understood was an issue in the past. But if people are fully aware, this is how we're going. And in my opinion, the community wants this. They want the security and the ability to not have all these people come. I guarantee you, we mention it at the June meeting or the August meeting, and people will be like, yeah, we're worried, but there's always people parked there that shouldn't be there. Craig, your hand is up again.
it still doesn't solve the issue of people parking on a surface street and walking down to the beach.
I don't see that happening that often. I mean, I walk the streets all the time with my dog. I don't see that happening. I don't see a lot of people park on the streets at all. Does anybody else see a lot of cars parked on the street? I mean, Ridgewood, I know that's where people actually park their cars, but they live there. But I don't see people parking along the sides of the streets. Is there any other questions?
If I could just add, I second what I said before, is that, you know, I don't think that the issues that we're having with parking are going to be solved by this necessarily. And I think that the issues we have are more with people's behavior than people parking. That's just to throw that out there.
Okay. Anybody else? I really, oh, Julia's hand is up. Go ahead, Julia.
Lori, I have heard from members that they have seen a lot of people parking on the side streets and walking down, especially to First Beach. You might not see them at the time of day that they're doing it, but I think Town Street gets quite a few. And the areas over here by First Beach, and Jeff is shaking his head. He may know better, but I've heard from members around the First Beach area of such.
I can't find how to raise my hand.
All right, well, Brian's next, but I will call on you next. Brian?
Oh, well, I was just thinking, keep in mind, there's a sort of break-in. It wouldn't happen magically very quickly this summer, would it? When's
Well,
the
that's what I was
season?
saying. We'll
Yeah.
overlap with the orange tags and extend them until everybody's fully on board or mostly on board.
Right. So if we
Um,
went to this, the tags currently still would work, hang tags, and we'd phase into QR.
Yeah, because we have no other modality. We would just extend the orange ones.
I like the idea of the permanent sticker or hang tags.
Me too. And it stays with the person. And when they move, we know because Lynn knows. She, you know, they have to go through the tax collector. So when they move, they're immediately revoked. The
And,
new people have
I
to
like-
get new tags.
and being an online type of guy and everything online, being able to access it, just hand the keys over to somebody else that administers it, or anyone can, to add codes, change codes. If it could link in then to, what is it, Constant Contact, that's even better too. You could put a field in there, huh?
So I asked him, actually, it's very customizable. It's really, really neat. But I asked him, I asked Nathan, could he integrate our Excel spreadsheet that we have from Carolyn that now references the name with the address? That's all it does. There's no other, I don't think there's a phone number. I think it's just a name and address. And then we also integrate with Constant Contact and we pull phone numbers, email addresses, and so forth. He said yes. They could populate and merge those. I said, well, that would be a big help. And of course, that would be all included in our startup. That's not like additional or anything. It's Craig, you have your hand up again. You're 5 times around now.
Jeff was first. Where did he
Oh,
go?
I
Jeff,
can't
you're-
press the button, but I'll talk anyway. So,
Okay, go ahead.
I agree with Craig 100%. But in addition to that, I like doing the additions. The additions to that is it's not so much, it's the people without the tags that are really causing the problems. It's the outsiders. Let's not forget that. I mean, it's not so much of, Joe Smith living on Ridgewood Road who's parking there. It's the people who are not from the area. So that's another picture. And the other thing is the guests. We have had a few, which I got involved in speaking to people who weren't supposed to really be there or misuse. That goes what Craig was saying, behavior. So there's a lot of elements to this. That's all I'm trying to say. And
There are. And
it's going to be a big bill. If we think we're going to get away cheap from a security company, we're crazy. I think Dave Burton can probably shed some light on that. And I don't know, what is our budget for public safety anyway?
Unfortunately, wait, let me see if I have that with me. I'm a little far away. Hi, Nancy. Dave, Nancy Kavanaugh just joined us.
In the year that we're in, we're at 3750. In
Nancy,
the
you're
fiscal
muted.
year that we're in, our public safety budget is 3750.
Yeah, but look at 26. Look at the next one.
No, I'm just telling you what we're in.
Right, what we're in now. Look at the one that starts in July. That one has a lot more money in it.
Well, stand by because that's on the drive.
Yeah, I don't have it with me.
While she's looking, I just looked up, stickers.
Yeah.
For $500 or $600, we can get stickers every year that change color and change design.
And who's going to keep track of that database?
Well, the point is that's not I don't think that's a really ridiculously hard thing to do when it's a tenth of the, price of an annual membership to an app.
Tell that to Carolyn Kress.
That's fine. Well, Carolyn Kress doesn't have to do it. I'm sure there's other ways to do databases other than Excel spreadsheets. I'm sure there's an application or something online that we can find that's way cheaper than the cost of $5,000 for this QR code and managing an app. I'm not trying to like go against or rub the wrong way. I'm just saying, stickers, parking permit stickers are, $500 for $500 for 500 stickers. I mean, how many do we really need?
Nancy, you have your hand up. Yeah, I know you missed a lot of this.
Yeah, I'm sorry I wasn't here for the beginning,
Okay.
but I feel like from the budget committee, the amount for next year for security was between 6 and 10,000. Closer, I think it was 8 to 10. I don't remember exactly what it was, but we were planning specifically to take on new costs related to these problems. And the other thing that I want to say, having not heard the specifics of the beginning of this conversation, is that there were some challenges in the past with this board and our community moving into the next wave of handling things rather than the old-fashioned way. And I really think that if the expense is 5,000, that's not a big expense for what we could get out of it in terms of going into the next generation of technology, taking care of things. I also find that when people's details are connected to a database in a different way, they know their behavior is more accountable and followed up on. And as far as the people who don't belong, I think it's going to identify them easier. I just feel like the people that have talked to me want to go to a more specific way. Yep, there we go, 10,000.
It was 10,000. So we purposely did that because we knew this was coming. And we
Yes.
knew that I just looked it up too, Lisa. Thank you. I forgot I got the drive. So we knew we were going to get security. We knew we were going to do something different than the hang tags. We didn't know what. But we did, and the membership approved the $10,000 in public safety. So the membership is very big on this, Craig. This is going to be like your 8th time. I just
Am
said
I not allowed to speak?
you are, but
All right, I'll just be quiet then.
no, you are allowed to speak, but I don't know. Oh, you weren't here. He didn't hear the conversation in the beginning, Dave.
I've been raising my hand too. Normally I don't raise my hand.
I know. So we talked about Robert's rules and we talked about a little more structure. And so Dave's structure with Robert's rules and his setting is you speak twice on a subject and you don't keep going around. So I'm sorry, you weren't here and you didn't hear that. So we're trying to stick towards that to get things to move along, although we want to be efficient and effective. We don't want to keep going round and round. That's all. So I will say again,
In my defense, it's not round and round. I'm just elaborating on things that are talked about after I spoke the last time. So
okay, no, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. That wasn't meant as a dig, Craig, at all. But Dave, go ahead.
Okay, so we have $10,000. We're going to spend that on physical security anyway. So that becomes a moot point unless we're willing to go over budget and buy a piece of software for $47.50. I think that the physical security is the most important aspect of this because those are the individuals that will have the first contact. I think it might be a cart before the horse kind of deal where we need to see if the physical security works first. before we go ahead and elaborate on the security methods and or infrastructure that we want to put in place. I can tell you in the city, we do still use the physical sticker, and our pricing on that is 96 cents a sticker. There's a minimum order. I think it's 250 you have to order for, but it's the physical component that has more impact in that the officers, the enforcement officers, the traffic officers, et cetera, that go out and do the work are the ones that change the behavior. In this case, it would be the private security firm that we hire that is preventing individuals from parking there during the normal hours and or stopping individuals from accessing the property if they don't have the proper ID. I think that we need to stick with the physical security first before we go into the software, just because of the expense. I would expect to pay $800 to $1,000 a weekend. And that's for 4-hour blocks for each day. Given that rate, we're going to use this up pretty quickly. So
That's what I was going to say, buddy. Exactly. I was going to use all of those words and say the exact same thing.
Dave, so Lisa Sobostanovich looked into this last year, and those prices were not what she came up with. And there was like 2 or 3 companies she looked into. I don't know which ones you're looking into.
yeah, I'll send that out. I'll get some. Again, I think we might be a little preemptive here as far as let's find out what the physical security cost is first. I can send that out, this week and see what we get for responses, just so we know how much of a chunk of that is going to be spent on the weekend folks that are going to man those checkpoints or parking lots or whatever they're going to do.
Okay, that would be helpful to have that number so that we know what we're working with. Public safety, even though it's $10,000, also incorporates maintaining the AEDs. And every year those need new paddles or batteries, or they're staggered. But so just to keep that in mind. Yes, Jeff.
I get one more talk.
Yes, you do.
I get one more. Maybe for the first year, this year, we get the cheapie stickers, where they're good for 1 year. As Dave Burton said, is that we're a pilot program, in the sense, kind of a hybrid program of progressing to the possible QR codes. But the security is number one, and I think we're going to be surprised. I mean, if we end up spending, I don't know, you said a couple of $100. In other words, it appears to be what, Dave, about a couple of $300 for us to get 400 stickers.
Yeah, they're going to charge you 15% administration fee plus about $30 an hour for each one of the guards. Depends on how many they put out there, and then you pay for the vehicle as well. So, I mean, it's going to be, the prices have skyrocketed because everything's gone up. So,
well, my vote is let's get a firm handle on what the costs are going to be for the security, the physical security, which I think is number one, and perhaps just get the simple stickers that we had for 50 years and for good for 1 year. And that we can make the switch. If the security's working, then we go to the next level. My time has expired.
Does anybody else have a comment? Oh, Nancy. Go ahead, Nancy. Can't hear you. You're muted. Look at your microphone and unmute it. There you
I was trying, but it wasn't working in one place. Anyway, not knowing which way this is going to go and not being part of the earlier part of the conversation, I think our 4 hang tags with random giving to guests is part of the problem. So if we don't go with the QR code or even if we just go with stickers or whatever, I think we need a different kind of system to handle guests. So that it can be clear to the security people that a guest is not welcome except under certain conditions, whatever those are that we determine.
So when I was discussing this QR code, we would have one color of the QR code for residents, and then another color that we'd actually put on hang tags. It would have a QR code, and that would be the guests, and that would be associated back with the homeowners. So if we want to go with just regular stickers, I think we can do something of the same sort. We can get stickers for residents, and then one color, and then perhaps, provide 2 hang tags with a sticker on it for guests.
Yeah, but something else like registration or deposit, something like that, so that it makes it so that people aren't just freely handing out the tags that they don't use. That's
Right, which that's a problem. So with
It
this
is.
system, you could see how many times a person has come to the parking
Mhm.
lot,
Yeah.
how long they've stayed. You could see all of that, because they would be recorded by the security person or whoever clicks the tag. And
For
it
the
gets-
time that that security person is there,
No.
which is not going to be all the time.
No, right. But you could do it if it was on your phone. Like any board member can just go and click on them.
Yeah, but I see, Dave,
saying.
are we going to walk around and just go clicking on? Come on. I
No,
mean, what are
no.
we even talking about here?
Okay. So anyway, I'm answering Nancy's question, Craig. Did that answer your question a little better?
To a degree, yeah. I mean, I feel like what's interesting in terms of this board on the time, what I was observing before and then the time recently is some people are really happy to go into the next, into the future, into the modern way of handling things, and other people are really resistant in certain areas. So it's just interesting to see that.
That makes us a board. We all have opinions, which makes us what we're supposed to be. So I think, Dave? You're
Oh,
muted.
I will say, and I know this is my third comment, but
Oh,
I
it's
will
okay.
tell you that I learned from the first time we went around on the dam that because we got blown out of the water on the first time we went around on the dam because we hadn't done the due diligence. Okay. And I think what we need to do is the due diligence before we make a decision on going forward.
I agree, Dave. We need the data from Dave on the cost of security and what they actually provide. Will they, if they're here 4 hours, do they go to each beach? Are they going to, I don't know. There's nothing that says people can't park on the town roads. So how do you handle that? I don't know what to say. I've not seen anybody, but clearly other people have. I don't know how we handle that. Wristbands. I mean, it's always going to be an issue. We're not a gated community. So yes, I totally agree with you, Dave. We definitely need to explore all our avenues and find out different options and what different costs will be and what will be the most effective. So, we have prices on stickers. We know prices on hang tags, which we know also don't really work well. Again, you lose 4. Can I have another 4? Sure. You see an orange hang tag, no one's going to question it. So, it's a matter of control of that too. So let's find out how much security costs and kind of go forward with that. And we can, email information. Dave, would you be okay emailing that information to the board, just so we can get a jump on it?
Yeah, kind of. It'll probably take a week or so to get some responses back, but I'll reach out to some of the companies and see what they come back for pricing. And I'm just going to go June to the end of August on the weekends.
I think
And then the only other thing is, the hours, right? So that 4-hour block might become a 6-hour, might become an 8-hour, because I think you have 2 different issues. One is obviously during the daytime, you don't want people accessing the property, parking on the streets, etc. But then the parking issues are the after hours, I think, when everybody else goes home, but then other individuals show up to stay on the beach. So
that has been an issue.
right.
We know. Thanks, Dave. Brian?
Sorry, I don't know if I'm probably the third time too, like Dave. Gee,
That's
Um,
okay. We're trying to be more efficient, and this is from Dave. So
put anyone with no tag. Anyone know?
I'm sorry, you froze. Nobody's.
I know, I saw that. I wasn't sure if maybe you heard me. Okay, so to have a show of force, when's the last time we actually towed anyone away? Now we put I put those signs up last fall. Maybe we just start there too. I don't know. Start with the physical security. Let's just put the hammer down and put on Facebook. Hey guys, we're starting to tow. Do tow companies pay themselves because they get the money back from the?
They get it back from once that hitch is on. That
Right.
person is liable
So it's
to.
less. It's no sweat off us, right? On a tow company as much, right?
Nope.
I'm just
And you're right. We put the signs up to comply.
Right.
With regulations, so there's no question.
put the rope up at night. I don't know. That was one thought.
My understanding
Security on
was
band nights.
that,
Yeah.
that people, we couldn't get anybody to tow anybody from the lake because people didn't want to tow people from the lake. That was my understanding. I've never inquired because we weren't set up properly, but we are now. But yes, it's on the person that owns the vehicle. And, if they wind up not picking it up, it gets impounded and they want to paying storage fees too.
So I like the QR code. I'm all in for that too. But like the physical part of it, like how do we go about calling up a tow company? Do we have one on call?
Well, we would have to work
Right.
with, Belltown or
Okay.
I actually know one personally, but so, we would have to find a tow company that we work with.
I think it comes down to towing. I think once people see cars getting towed out, you'll see everyone stop and stay away.
Oh, and it'll be on Facebook.
Yeah, but it'll be great. Those apartment guys will stay away. That's what we
Right.
want.
Dave,
Well, that's my.
is this
All
your
right,
third
so,
one?
so private property tow, places usually operate with one company. So we contract with one company and they would tow, for the cost and they recover the cost from the owner. If the costs exceed the value of the vehicle, they have a paperwork that they can fill out, apply that to DMV, and they can actually seize the vehicle based on failure to pay their tow bill. So that's all on them. HOAs, condominiums, building associations, etc., do this all the time. That they contract with one company and that company comes through and checks the lots for the violators and tows when they find one.
Right. So I know there's a couple of tow companies locally that we can reach out to and see if that's something they would be willing to do. So I think we have two action items right now, right? Looking into a tow company and pricing on security, physical security. And then we'll reconvene, we'll send out, via email, the information that we find and reconvene on the subject. Any more questions or comments on this public safety? Are you teasing?
No, I honestly do have more that I want to ask and bring
Okay.
up for discussion, but it doesn't. I don't want to break the rules.
What do you got?
You got to assume $50 an hour for security. Dave Burton,
We're-
am I wrong on that?
We're not going to assume anything. We're going to let
That's
them
fine.
get.
We don't have to assume. I'm just saying, like, we can put it to bed right now. It's going to cost 10 grand just to have them there on weekends for 3 hours a day. But anyways,
Okay.
And
Nancy?
I'm just thinking budget specifics. The budget year starts July 1 and Dave Burton was talking about June. Do we have money in June to spend or do we need to just focus on starting July 1?
Well, I think we need to look at the budget and see where we can allocate. It's June is actually, it's probably mid-June, Dave, when
Yeah.
when the children, the kids get out of school. So it's probably mid-June until probably Labor Day.
Yeah, the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. So, so Nancy, we'll be close to the next fiscal year by then.
Yeah, we will. Okay.
Good question. Yes. Anything else? Great. Okay, we're gonna move on. So Dave G, would you just give a quick update on the contractor for the dam admissions?
Relative to the dam, so on January 30th, we sent out 5 requests for quotation to 5 different bidders. One of the bidders, D'Amato, came back and no bid, said the job was too small, basically is what they said, is the input they provided us. On February 9th, there was a bidders conference. The other 4 bidders showed up, met with Lori, Carl, John Gilmore, and Tim Pelton. They had questions. It seems like the questions were resolved. We've heard nothing else since. We're expecting the bids to come back in via email or regular mail on March 2nd. Any questions? Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Okay. All right, so we're back to you, Dave, on waste management. So discussion and vote on a resolution to extend the current vendor's contract to March 2027. I sent out the numbers via constant contact. I did get a couple of emails back, explained, you know, somebody had a question. Was it $6 a day or $6 a person? But anyways, I thought it was pretty cut and dry, but
Do you want me to go over the numbers?
could you please? Yes,
Yes,
just
yeah, I
like
can.
in the board meeting.
The current contract is $6,029 per month. The extension would be $6,210 a month, a delta of $181 a month. For 7 months, the delta is $1,267 over the current contract level. The extension for 7 months in total would be $43,470. So that's what we're actually allocating, is $43,470 because we are extending the contract for 7 months. It's a 3% increase for that 7-month period, but it allows us to put that into a better time frame for budgeting and for contract negotiations on the future contract, as well as it allows us to focus on things like the dam and things that are more urgent at this point. Any questions regarding the proposed extension and increase? No questions. I therefore propose that we accept this increase. Can someone second it? I see seconds from both Jeff and Nancy. Do you want to take a vote on this? And all in favor?
Hold
So
on, procedural, the president has to do the vote. so.
Okay, sorry, boss.
So Jeff, your hand was up first. You second this. So all those in favor of the increase of 3% until March 2027? Aye.
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 All those not in favor? Any abstentions? Motion passes.
Go Dave.
Okay.
Excellent. We will move forward with accepting the contract extension from Chris. Dave, do you want to reach out to him, or would you like me to?
I can do that. You're supposed to be enjoying your vacation.
Thank you.
We'll figure out how to put an amendment on the existing contract.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to move forward. There's nothing under old business, but I would like to put something quickly under new business. And it's regarding the dam and the LQuick budget. It would be fairly quick. Could I have a motion to add that to new business? I need 2/3 of a vote.
Yeah, I'll motion for discussion on the dam budget.
And LQuick.
I'll
Real quick.
second it.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody not in favor? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Okay, so I had submitted the LQuick budget to Brittany. She takes care of, Brittany is she's at Moodus Reservoir. And she's the one that pretty much enters the information into ClearGov, which is the modality used to ask the town for money. The lake associations request, I did a formal budget for them and I did a summary of what we're looking to do. And I will email it to all of you so you kind of have an idea, because we are looking at the biobase and doing something with that again, not until next year. So I'm going to ask for money for that next year. However, that meeting is this Saturday. And Jeff, I think you went to that last year. So, that's the LQIC budget. And that's where we get our 50% reimbursement from the town for what we spend on lake quality. What I also learned was that, if you all recall, we were getting $15,000 allocated annually for the dam repair. That was through ClearGov. So when I sent her the budget for Elqua, she's like, "Did you want to update this damn thing?" I'm like, "Oh my God, it was so outdated." So I redid the whole thing, submitted it. Tim is going to also go to the meeting and talk through the dam. And Dave, I know it's last minute. I just heard from Linda Zimajewski, who is the first selectman's administrative assistant. She just reached out to me like 2 days ago and said, like, "Are you coming?" I'm like, probably not. Tim knows all the information, and you do, Dave. I didn't know if you wanted to go as well. But it's Saturday at 1 o'clock at the town hall.
Are you talking to me?
I am, I should say,
Yeah.
Dave G.
I'm in Florida.
Oh, you are? Okay, you're not going either. But so Tim has got like all my hitting points. I had to ask for a number in ClearGov. I couldn't leave it open-ended. So I'm asking for $192,000 in addition to the 108 that they've already allocated. So for a total of $300,000. He has all the talking points. We are, a member of the 8 Mile Scenic and Wild and Scenic federally granted watershed. There's so many talking points that the taxing revenue should something happen. So he has a list. Him and I are going to have a meeting tomorrow just to kind of go over everything again. But he's not like in the LQIC part. He's more talking towards the dam. So I didn't know if there was somebody that wanted to go and represent for the LQIC part. Just asking if anybody's in town. I am not. If not, I think Tim can handle it. I mean, he's not part of POLA, but it was kind of short notice. We've been waiting to hear when this meeting was. So I did ask Tim if he could ask them if we could also attend another meeting after March 2nd, because we'll have real numbers by then. And the ask might be a little different. I'm kind of getting that feel, Dave G. So that's my update. Any questions, comments? Anybody willing to go to the meeting that's in town? And that's okay. Like I said, Tim will be there. So somebody's talking. I don't know who.
No, it's just me. I got to work, so can't go.
Oh, okay.
And
Thanks.
the weather's supposed to be bad on Saturday, just so you know.
Are we in a storm? I mean, are you in a storm?
There's like 3 more coming.
No, sir. Oh, God. Okay. So, all right. Like I said, not to worry. We will mea culpa Tim, and he will go to the meeting for us. And really, Brittany used to do all this. She's not going to be there this year either. So, but I think we'll be okay. It was a really thorough summary that I submitted to them. So I think they'll be okay with it. On both parts, the dam and LQIC. So yeah. All right. So I've done enough lake stuff today. Thanks, Brian. So is there everybody else set? Can I have a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Okay.
Any nays? Abstentions?
Am I
Motion.
allowed to speak?
Shorter now because next week's gonna be 3 hours, huh? Or next month, he said.
Next month's going to be long. Yeah. Yeah.
Longer.
You can when I stop the recording, Craig. Hold on. Because we just made a motion to adjourn.
I was just gonna say, Julia, I hope you're feeling well.
Thank you. That was nice of you. I don't,
Thank
she's,
Well,
She's
she
back
can
there.
speak first.
I didn't see her. I thought she left, Craig.
It's past my bedtime.
That was nice of you. Thank you. That was nice.
Thank you, Craig.
All right,
Nice to
guys,
see
see you
everybody.
later.
Take
All
care.
right, everybody.
Bye.